All right, I'm going to make you a little quick video on some of my systems for paperwork and money management. This is specifically after a party. When I come home from holding a party, I have my money bag. Let me grab it. And you earn your Mary Kay money bag when you're a qualified, Great Start qualified consultant. And if you didn't earn your money bag in your first 4 months, then make sure you talk to me, then I'll give you a challenge so you can earn your money back. So all of the money goes into your Mary Kay money bag from all of your sales, and it does not come out until you go to the bank, right? We teach you not to embezzle your money. So you don't want to just spend your cash. You need to pay back yourself, your loan, your investment, but also you have to restock. 50% always, always, always goes back into your store. So I put everything in here as I'm leaving my party, and then quite honestly, I don't do anything when I come home except for be with my family. So I put this in my office, and then when I have my office hours the following day, I transfer it. So I take it out of here. And then what has helped me to stay very organized is I have a sales folder. I have one for expenses and one for sales. I just dump everything in it. And then when we come into office hours, and either myself or my assistant will actually take everything and follow my checklist. So I'm just gonna run you through some of the things that I do real quickly so that you can understand how to make sure there's a system. I work really well by saying, okay, what's step 1, step 2, step 3? Did I finish everything? And then that way you know you're doing great customer service. So you have a consultant profile card, and you will have her order form. The first thing that I do is I come in and I make sure I prefer to use ProPay on my computer, so I do not use the sliding kind of document or the little slide, because there are some problems with people stealing with Wi-Fi or with, I don't know how to describe it other than people can snag it. So I just really like to be safe, and I just don't take the time during the parties. I come home and I manually put all of the credit cards into ProPay. The reason I like ProPay is it is an encrypted system that is guaranteed. I want to just throw out a little thing about Venmo and some of those other cash systems. They're not protected. So one of the mathematicians who's a genius IT person was at my party, and she said be really, really careful. In fact, you shouldn't use any of it, because not only could people transfer money or you transfer money and the bank will not protect it if it doesn't truly go through, but the other side is they can take your information because it's not such an encrypted system, and then somebody could get into your bank account and take all your money. So I just decided to be a little old school. So what I do is I come home and I take the sales slip and I enter everything into ProPay. So I go into the ProPay website. Now, I'm gonna take you to ProPay. Here, one second, let me pull it up. And ProPay is a system, it's a fake bank account, but it allows us to it allows us to process anybody's credit card. Let me show you. Oh, I can't turn it around. Let me just turn my phone around. So hopefully you can see this is ProPay. So you go to ProPay, and this is where you put in all of your customer information for credit cards. Now, I'm gonna turn you back around. So that is where it is stored. In ProPay, I store all of my clients because, again, it's encrypted, and whenever there's a reorder, I don't have to ask her for the credit card number again. It's already there. So then what do? I have her card. I have the sales slip. I probably should not have thrown it away quite yet. So the sales slip is separate. So what do? I take off the front part that shows the actual credit card information, and that information is going to be shredded in my office. The other part, see how it's blocked out? This is what I take and I put on the very back of her consultant profile card. So if you did not notice this, I'm gonna pull up a brand new one. There are 2 parts to the card, okay? The first part is gonna be filed in her birthday category. So this is going to be the tissue papers January through December, and this back part is gonna be her alphabetical. So what do? I take that receipt and I staple it to the back of her card. And that is how I know I have processed ProPay. But I'm not done yet. There's 3 steps, I think, for customers. The next one is you want to make sure you put this in your weekly accomplishment sheet. So once I've done all of my customers, I've stapled this and I put it into 2 piles. I have the pile that's going to be their alphabetical, and then I have the pile that's going to be their birthday. So I will file them at the very end of this process. I've gotten the money into ProPay. Now I want to put it into my weekly accomplishment sheet. And I'm going to start with old school. Old school is manually. And so I do recommend you consider this system for your weekly accomplishment sheets. Notice how at the very top I have the hostess. Now we had a fun party. It wasn't the biggest in sales, but here's the thing. I booked 4 parties from it, and I think I have at least 3 interviews this week. So there is such potential for more and more and more, even though it might not have been the strongest in sales, but it was a party of 6, and a party of 6 is a lot of people to manage. We also had the festivities, so I am very, very proud of what accomplishments we have, but I do put down the hostess first, and I put down all the guests right underneath. And what I have found works really well is I like to write down what each customer ordered right here, because this number is going to be the sum total of the entire party. Now, why do I do it this way? Because when you start to figure out what is your party average, you want to know which ones were together. Otherwise, you're just going to have a face average. Now, I can still add this to my face average and put down 6 faces, but it allows me to know my target. And some people say, oh, I need to make sure I have a set income each week. Well, guess what? You can have that with your Mary Kay business if you know your target. And so when you understand what your averages are, you can grow your averages. And that way, if you need $1,000 a week in profit, you know you need to sell 200. If you know your average party is a $400 party, boom, you just need to have 3 parties and you're at $1,200. So you know your averages, and that's one of the reasons this is so important. The other thing is important is making sure you write down how much sales tax you got back, because we pay sales tax up front and we want to make sure we recover that money in our own bank account. And then of course, any products that you gave away retail. Those are the things that are very important. Now this is if you gave a hostess gift and you didn't ask her for the tax. So this would be product that is non-recovered sales tax on any product you gave as a gift. Now you'll notice I also had 2 faces on Saturday. So the 2 faces on Saturday are going to have a different date, the amount of time, the amount of skincare sets, the amount of sales. I group that together as well because I want to know what's my double facial average. So it really does help us to be more clear on what it is that we have as our goal and how are we doing with it. Now this is not my entire week, but I wanted to show you how to actually fill out a weekly accomplishment sheet. You have 2 choices. You can do it manually and make sure you keep a copy and send me a copy of it in an email. Just take a picture. But Mary Kay does have the weekly accomplishment sheet under business tools. And so they calculate everything for you. It really makes it much more simple. I don't recommend you put anything on here other than your sales. And here's why. This is what you're going to tell the IRS you made. You will be taxed on your total number for the year, because we have to pay taxes, you guys. Now, sales tax, Mary Kay pays the state when you purchase the products. But we have federal income tax that the IRS is going to ask you, what did you make in your sales? And you're going to say, I sold $10,000, which means you'll take away all of your write-offs from that, and that is in your expenses. So there's a way to decrease what Uncle Sam's going to tax, but basically your sales are going to be reported as income. So that has to be, I would not recommend you put down gifts that you're giving to people. I don't recommend you put down anything that you personally took for yourself. Otherwise, you're going to be paying more in tax because of that. So the weekly accomplishment sheet is your next step. Then I want to show you, or I'm going to tell you because my phone won't turn around. Then I put these same people into my Mary Kay My Customers database. So in the Mary Kay My Customers, after I have put all of the money and transactions into ProPay, I am now going to put her information in Mary Kay. There's a section called My Customers. And since I'm using my phone, if you don't have the app called My Customers app, make sure you download it because you can keep track of your customer sales and your inventory all through this amazing app. But as soon as that party is done, I take these names and I put all of the information into my Mary Kay My Customers database. And that way they can have emails from me with specials. I can also make sure that they are in the system for the quarterly preferred customer program, which means they will get the new book every time it's launched. So your systems will take you further. If you don't currently have a system for what you're going to do with all of your cards and all of your just after the party information, hopefully this helps. I do want to tell you on the very back are her names and referrals. I make sure I hold on to that and I write these into a system that I have where I can keep track of all the referrals I get and how I call them 8 times to offer my service. And after 8 times, that's generally when I say, I guess you're not interested. And if they haven't responded, then I thank them and I wish them well. But I will tell you, this you do not want to lose. So as you keep your system strong, you'll always have people to book, people to take care of, and customers that are going to tell their friends because you're such good customer service representatives.